I feel less safe here than I do in Thailand. I wanted to be a ninja first, Kung Fu theater, ninja movies. Oh, blood sport. Polo? What's that? Oh. Right? I just think like here, if you go to Thailand to train, it's very difficult to come back here and train. 8 years to learn Muay Thai, 3 months in Thailand. The first like couple seconds in my head, I said, excuse my language, what the am I doing here? Every single time.
Just fire away. Don't feel like you're not gonna ask something that's make you look dumb, right? Really ask anything. I still ask him questions. I asked him a question an hour ago. So just fire away, ask him questions. Because he's obviously took some time to come here all the way from Thailand. It's a far trip, guys. Very, very far trip. And I'm happy to have him here and just kind of give you guys that exposure.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, so anything.
When we come to visit you, or
yes.
If we did, I mean, I think I would be intimidated and probably afraid and really unsure of myself. Mm-hmm. What's your strategy or advice to people going to Thailand to train and dealing with that anxiety?
I can assure you today, Thailand's today is very welcoming for us to come over, and they are very like warm, you know, to bring you into the gyms. I wouldn't say that's the case 20 years ago, you know, because I think they were trying to figure out where we'd fit in the sport, and the way they do things and sort of how they think about us is we have things quite soft. We're quite soft people, but now the country itself, the safety, I feel less safe here than I do in Thailand. You know, where I'm going next in these places, in like maybe visually, the place can look pretty rough. The soys and like, it's like new world, old world kind of mushed together. But the people are beautiful and they're very welcoming, you know? So knowing that, you know, is helpful. And going to the gym, now I think there's a lot of exposure with us, so you don't get a lot of the gyms with like the tough sort of that vibe what you feel here in an MMA gym or something, where these like guys have this like this bravado and stuff. The Thais carry themselves very meek, like they're very, like, I'm sure you've been exposed to Super Bond and these guys, the way they carry them is like, they're almost like you can't even imagine that what they do for a living, right? And that's my experience in the recent years in most of the gyms in Thailand. So you really don't have to be concerned that way. And other things you might be concerned about if you haven't traveled a lot, like medical, hospitals, can I eat, what can I eat? They have everything now. I mean, anything you can imagine here, you can get Grab, McDonald's on a motorbike to your door, you can get Starbucks. I mean, even on the smaller islands now are pretty, even where I'm at in Koh Samui, we might have a little bit less than Phuket or other places, but it's pretty safe, and the gyms are really welcoming. I hope that answered a little bit. Yes, ma'am.
Advice on breath work for like power and for fluidity or like calm.
Awesome, that's a great question. Did you tell her to ask that? So there's something that we talked about earlier in one of the PTs that I don't see taught, and it's just really, it blows my mind, and it's something like I learned a while ago, but also wasn't just given to, you know? So who have trained with Thais? Have you all had some experience? So when you listen to the Thais, you'll hear this kind of a heckling breath, like a and even if you get on YouTube, you're gonna hear this sort of vibrating, like almost like they're laughing, right? And what this is like a technique to breathe with the diaphragm, and it's like circular breathing, like you'd play like a didgeridoo, and there's like pressure here, and I'm pulling in my diaphragm, and this regulates like your energy and your airflow, and also protects your vessel. So like when you're hit, you're never loose, and you're not going, it's not breathing like that. We call that air dumping. It's like a valve. I fill the compressor, right? And I can practice it by jumping on a tire first, right? When I run, there's a vibration here, and I'm moving the diaphragm. This is a muscle. It needs to be conditioned. It's going to move in and out, and you're going to draw more air into more oxygen into the lungs, into the body. The deeper you get the air in. You're breathing right now, mostly here, with the chest. And you get super woo-woo on it, I will, because I believe in breath, is all the anxiety and everything is around the heart. So when you get upset, what happens? Your breath changes. When you're angry, right? So if you can move your air here, you can control also this here. And we use this in the temple. I lived in a monastery. I did the whole monk thing with the breath thing. So a lot of that for this is worked with the diaphragm. We say puto, puto, like a feather rising up and falling. In, but not here. So one thing you can do all day is when you sit down in a chair or you go to work or you go home or you grab groceries, I guarantee this is what it looks like. Watch my breath. We're not breathing. Shh. 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 I practice it all day. So when I move, shh, everything's with breath. Okay? Anything else?
How did you find Muay Thai?
Movies. I wanted to be a ninja first. Kung Fu theater. Ninja movies. Oh, blood sport. Polo? What's that? Oh. Right? I go off to the Marine Corps. I'm traveling. I'm going everywhere. I meet a group of guys. We're all infantry guys, combative guys. We all train martial arts. They invite me to the group. I start to see guys like, Kyokushin, bare knuckle, karate, and Muay Thai. So I start to do all this. I did a lot of traditional styles and everything. I did boxing, I did everything. But this is when it really was a shift for me. And then I did some kickboxing, Chinese kickboxing, waist and above. I fought on a bunch of Indian reservations because back then you have to go to Indian reservations because the laws, you could do whatever you want. So they'd host shows, we'd do leg kick fights. Lumberton, the Carolinas, when I was in the Marine Corps, I would moonlight, sneak off. Okinawa, I fought, bare knuckle, anything I could do, right, to fuse it. But Muay Thai was like, man, I keep hearing these guys are the best. These guys are the best. I need to go over there and check it out, but I ain't gonna fight. I'm gonna go 2 weeks, get some techniques and bring it back to my gym. And I didn't come home for 2 years. And then I came and got everything and then I left again and I didn't come home for a long time. Yes, sir.
So I know that Muay Thai is a variation of Muay Boran.
Muay Boran.
Muay Boran. Boran only means ancient or antique.
Okay.
The ancient Muay, the antique boxing. So Muay Boran, but Mir Mai Muay Thai or Lukmar Muay Thai or Muay Chaya, those are the styles, Krabi Krabang. But Muay Boran isn't really a style. It's the ancient way. Yes.
When you come back to the U.S. or West to train and coach, is there something that you miss about the practice that you've come to enjoy in Thailand?
I just think like here, if you go to Thailand to train, it's very difficult to come back here and train. Only because it's a lifestyle there, and here you guys gotta make it 1 hour after work, you drive, it's different. Like we wake up and we train 3 hours in the morning, then we train 3 hours in the afternoon, and we sleep the middle of the day, and it's a motorbike ride or 2 meters to the gym because you live in the gym. Your whole life is like, I can't wrap my head around like how even people can stay fit here. It takes me all day just to train, to stretch, to sauna, to ice plunge, to eat right, to train. It takes me all day. How can people work like other jobs? I can't imagine. So I come here and you guys fit it in like an hour. 20 minutes of that skipping, so maybe 10 minutes of technical practice. 8 years to learn Muay Thai, 3 months in Thailand. That's what that's what I see as a big, but what else can you do? Better to have it than not have it. Because Muay Thai is for everybody, not fighters, not Muay Thai there's so much like value in Muay Thai outside just the fighting part that you can gain, you know? But I say that for me, like, but I'm always there. I just dabble over here. I'm here for 3 weeks and I go back. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a mantra, like when you're in the ring fighting, when you're hurt, tired, or scared, like do you have a mantra that you fall back on?
When I was fighting, I didn't have a mantra, but I had somebody inside me who show up. And like, I don't know who he is. He's not here right now and he's not been around for a while, but there's definitely a guy. And one of them would be just going through hell, like, what are you doing? Get out of here, man. You just go get a steak dinner. Just take a knee. Like all this stuff, like, and then, you know, this dude would show up and I just, yeah, he was definitely had the say so and that would make me fight. And once he showed up, like several times, I knew he's there, you know, when it gets like that. So, but some people have that, like some fighters will have this like, this mantra, this sort of like go-to 3-word or 2-word saying it's gonna like, and they use it in training. They use it like Mayweather's one, you know, hard work, and it's like he's got his team like, and he does it in the gym and you know when he's in that ring, man, it just ignites him. You know, these kind of keywords. Me personally, I didn't use that. I thought like for me it was all about the preparation. If I knew I trained hard enough, I was very confident. But there was times that this guy showed up a lot. Like every time I can say I stepped into the ring, the first like couple seconds in my head I said, excuse my language, what the fuck am I doing here? Every single time. And I was like, fuck. And then I'd be like, damn, afterwards elated and be like, oh my God. And the stupid promoter, he'd come over and be like, you fight next week? And before I could even say no, because I don't want to fight next week, I just went through hell to get to this place. I'd be like, okay. And then, oh, here comes the anxiety attack again. But I couldn't stop. You know, it's just a part of what I wanted to do. And it's just an interesting process of how your brain, like, you have to go through this stuff.
Kind of on the timing thing, 2 questions. One, in the States, right? If I'm only training in the morning or only training in the evening, but I have time before or after, how would you spend that time? Like putting more time into stretching or just like shadow boxing for a solid half hour beforehand, or like how do you kind of buffer?
I would definitely focus on shadow boxing over everything else. If you have extra time, it's not, people don't use it. I'd like to get bored with it. Good shadow boxing, like fluid, because you're not hitting a target. And when you fight, like how frequently are you actually getting to hit the target you want? Like the pads feel awesome. It's just not real. Like you're hitting the air, you're finding it. One shot hits, this misses. So to have control over your body and fluid movement, timing and rhythm and everything tight, shadow box. Every single day. You know, for a long time, not 10 minutes. You do an hour of shadow boxing. Just put your headphones on, flow, feel your body move, you know, shadow box.
And then flip side of that, going to Thailand, what would you say is like minimum, like preference, like solid? Is it, I mean, I know it could be worth it to just go for like as long as you have, but what do you think is sort of like the tipping point of you're there for 2 weeks and it makes a huge difference versus
1 month. 1 month, but some people just can't do it, you know, 2 weeks, they go tense, but 1 month, because the trip's too far, the time change, the jet lag, the environment, the food, like it just 1 month. 3 months is great. I've seen people change in 3 months, like night and day, come home and look like a semi-pro. That's someone that never started, yeah. Okay, anything else for me? Yes, ma'am.
So, you said like in America people aren't like training as long, but it seems like more Westerners are like doing better in the stadiums and stuff. And why do you think that gap is starting to close?
They live over there.
They live over there?
They're all over there now. Most are taking 3 months, 6 months. They're all doing camps now. FA group, all these gyms, they're housing foreigners. A lot of sponsorship, scholarship programs now. I started one in Koh Samui, 8 people, lottery from around the world. I pay everything, 6 months. You live with me, I train you, I manage your career. If you're good to go, I get outside funding for it. But it's a few Americans messed it up, so I canceled the program. But I was doing 8 people a year. And like they can do, yeah, it's like a dream situation, yeah?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes.
Is it like only people who want to go pro who go over there to train?
No, 90% of the people that go there don't fight. They're not fighters. They're enthusiasts. They go, they love the culture, they want to see Thailand, they eat, they enjoy this type of physical activity, and they want to be in a gym and an environment like with fighters as well, and it's just an awesome atmosphere. I train, well over 90% of my people do not get in the ring. I train clients from all over the world. They love Muay Thai. Yes, sir.
As someone like beginner that's not used to getting hit, would you recommend sparring?
Len Muay. There's ways to condition yourself to get ready, which is what we did tonight. Hours and hours of play fighting, right? And then there's a time when you gotta like put some headgear on and 16-ounce gloves and knee pads and everything and hit hard, because if you don't do that once in a while, you're setting yourself up for some failure, because when you go out there and when you fight, it's very hard to control your adrenaline, your energy, your emotions, unless you're putting hundreds of hours in, hundreds. We do 150 rounds of touch sparring before we touch a ring. It's a good standard, 150 rounds. And this shit you see people punching you in the face, don't ever go to a gym that does that. It's ridiculous. This is not, these guys punching each other like this. You don't condition the head this way. You damage the head this way. Okay. Yes, sir.
What's it like fighting in the ring in the Muay Thai?
It is absolutely amazing. Scary at first, but because it's a dangerous, brutal sport, it really is. There's not much on the planet like it. Lethwei is pretty close, but I don't think they're there in the way of technique. But like to have elbows, knees. I think the scariest thing for me initially was getting hit with these, because we're so used to like just the glove, and it's just a different feeling. It's a very different feeling. Also, I've been, like this, you can see a little bit, it runs down here. That was like, I think 13 to put the muscle back in my head, 11 on the outside from a knee. And I was in the standing position. He brought his knee up to the side. Just my head was on his shoulder, boom. Yeah. So it can be like, but I say if you get defensively sound and you work about defense, you learn about defense, you learn about structure, you learn about balance, then you think about punching and kicking people. Then Muay Thai is relatively safe and fun. Not painful, not as painful.
What do you think the biggest challenge is going from boxing to Muay Thai?
Trying to transfer your weight the right way. It's a totally different sport, because to punch properly, you're supposed to anchor yourself to the floor. You have to root, right? You can't levitate and punch with any force. So it's about sitting down. And when we sit, our weight's driving into the mat and we cannot block. So the hardest thing for me was to learn how to not get in this low position, keep my legs almost straight. If I load my legs, I'm just burning energy. So I just almost keep them not locked, but straight, and efficiency of movement, right? And be upright. But it's, when I sit, I would transfer my weight, and now I have a good blend. I kind of use this up and down so I can box and still stay light. But yeah, it's the biggest thing is the weight transfer, the position, and not blading your body.
Yeah, I have a hard time keeping my shoulders.
Yeah, it's you want to take your center away, because the rules, you can't hit my back, you can't hit my kidneys, you can't, in Muay Thai, I'll kick you in your spine. Boom. Okay. Yeah.
Kind of on that, any recommendations of footwork of what you often see people, I don't know, how you transfer your weight, or how you
Yeah, you don't, I think people see things and they exaggerate it. So it's this over-exaggeration of every movement. And it's not. It's so subtle. you know, 50-50. And then sometimes I transfer all my weight to the rear, and this can lift, and right, and then I can shift again. I can go back. Depends if I want to be forward fighting or rear, you know. But keep it simple, stupid, easy shift, not so like exaggerated, okay? I can give you a whole series of footwork drills. Yeah. It's like a whole seminar. If you get on my handle, you can ask me anything, I'll send you videos. 30-second, 20-second tips. I do it with people all over the place. Sometimes it'll take me a few days to get back, but I'm more than happy to send a little like footwork. You can do this, okay? Anyone?
Can you speak a little bit about the sport tied into the religion of Buddhism?
Yeah, you're gonna see lots of things garnished like in the ring that bled over from Buddhist like belief and culture. All the ring rituals are heavily like influenced by Buddhist like cultures. For instance, like getting into the ring over the top rope. And for women, because of the hierarchy, which is a bit ridiculous, they go under the bottom rope. They weren't allowed to touch the ring until a few years ago because it's superstitious to bring all cuts to the male boxers if a woman touches the ring. Now they're starting to grow up. And they see women fighting fierce in Thailand, probably better than some of the men now. So they're like, Lumpini, the first female fight happened last year in the history of Lumpini, right? So it's a pretty big deal. But these types of things are like also in the religion, right? So going over the top rope prevents breaking through like a different dimension. When I open the rope, I open a different dimension, which can bring ghosts into the ring. And people can cast spells into the ring to influence the outcome of the fight. That's why I seal the ring off with my hand, so that I'm blocking the ring off from anybody that can cast spells or have any outside influence into the ring. That's why I'm dragging the glove. I'm walking 3 circles because everything in Buddhism, right? 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 incense, 3 candles, 3. You see the relationship there. The Mongkong and the Prajat. These are Buddhist like ceremonial pieces, handmade with the ancestors' bones and teeth from the cremation of the body, woven into the headpiece, or lockets of hair, nail, right, woven inside. Usually little Buddha amulets, which have different superpower, supernatural power, they might believe. Buddhism and then animists and like pre-Buddhism, right, of like praying to deities and gods. So you see like this, you'll see a lot of fighters in it because it has sort of relationship to that type of stuff like magic like casting spells and katas, right? Praying to take the Mongkong off. This is like an opening prayer you'll hear in Buddhism for all our mantra. Namo tassa bhagavato arahado samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahado samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahado samma sambuddhassa. Satut. Blow over the head. Rub the top of the head. The crown of the head is forbidden to touch in the Thai culture for a man. So when you guys do your Muay Thai and you do this, ooh, but you can in training. But cupping the crown is forbidden because this is the highest point closest to Buddha. The feet are the lowest and they're dirty and that's why you never sit like this in Thailand and point your feet. If you're at the airport, if you're whatever, this is like doing this to someone. Same thing in Thailand. It's dirty, soil. That's why you don't tip someone in the face in Muay Thai when you train. But in the ring, if you want to piss someone off, you do that the first shot to a Thai. That's really not good etiquette, right? So all this comes from the temple, not facing Buddhist relics. Like that's why you sit with your feet back or here or, you know, your feet crossed like you are, okay? So all these little details come from Buddhism, but you also have like about 20% Muslim in Thailand. So you also see praying into the hands. You'll see the mongkong with like more of like like a Muslim, like a, yeah, the headpiece, right? Things like that. And you'll see the Ramoi a little different. But you're paying homage to like your teacher, Buddha, and your family through that dance, the Ramoi. And they do what you call, it's called like a Riki or Riki. And it's like storytelling in Thailand. So before you had TV sets, the villagers sit and they do shows and they dress up like the Hanuman and it's all these like the storytelling. And it all relates to like the wars with Burma, the superstition, Muay Thai, the culture, Buddhism, but it all is like sort of garnished in a lot of the Buddhist symbols and movements and things like this. Anything?
Cool. Nice. That was good.
Guys, good to go? Can we do a photo, group photo?
Right,
All right.
first, let's give a hand for.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Super. Thanks, brother.